it's close enough. I'm going to get started here. Is anybody actually making this along with me? I don't want to worry about going too fast. If you're watching it on video, that's not going to matter, but... Alright, so what we're making are these earbud cases, and this morning I had this idea. People never know what to do with the faux leather. Well, look, I made a faux leather earbud case. It's got a fabric lining in it. So that's perfect for the guys in your life, the stocking stuffers. So you can do these with the faux leather. If you do the faux leather, you're not going to need the fabric stabilizer because this is stiff enough. It's going to hold its shape. So for those of you doing the Cricut Explore, you're only going to need the fabric, the heat and bond, to cut this inside liner, and you really wouldn't even have to put a liner in there. So that's one option for Explore users. I cut this on the Maker using the rotary blade, and it cut just fine. This one I made, this was the first one I made, and this one I used for the stabilizer. I want to show you the difference here. For the stabilizer, I used fusible fleece on this one, heat and bond fusible fleece. And you can see this one's kind of a lot more puffy than this one, and I kind of prefer the thinner ones. I think this looks really cute, but it's a little bit harder to work with. It's a lot of bulk for such a little project. So the fusible fleece isn't necessary, but if that's what you have, totally doable. This is one I really like. This is by Heat and Bond. It's fusible fleece. And I will link all this stuff after the video isn't live. I'll put all the links to all the products under it. But that's one option, the fusible fleece. The other ones I made, this one and this one, I made using the Heat and Bond iron-on interfacing. And actually, I cut that off, but it says fusible interfacing. This is also by Heat and Bond. And it is just, it's a lot thinner. It's just enough to give your fabric a little bit of stiffness, kind of like a starchy feeling. So it'll hold its shape. And that's what I used on these two. So you can tell the difference. See how spongy and fluffy this one is as opposed to these. And I kind of like these better. They have a little bit more space in them. And for those, I use the iron-on interfacing. And for the people using the Explore, you're going to use this Heat and Bond. Actually, you probably want the Lite because you're going to sew through it. I just happened to grab this one. Here's the Heat and Bond fusible fleece. That one was ripped off, so you can see what it looks like when you buy it. But there is also a Heat and Bond Lite, and that one's for sewing. If you just have this one, I've sewn through it and it works fine. They say you shouldn't sew through it, but I do. So, but anyway, the Explore users, you're going to use this. You apply all of these the same way. The only difference is the Heat and Bond fusible fleece. Your iron's going to be a little bit hotter. I think this one says to put it on the wool setting, and these all are for your iron on the medium setting. So we're going to be using the Heat and Bond interfacing, and I am actually going to use my Easy Press to put it on. I think that's the easiest way. I like it. It does a big area all at once. So you need 2 pieces of fabric, approximately 6 by 10. These are obviously larger than I need. So I'm going to grab a cutting pad here and try to cut these on screen. I'm going to cut them both at the same time. And I have a rotary cutter. I think this is the easiest way to do it. So that's 5 inches. I'm going to go over about an extra inch. And I'm just going to cut 6 inches. And I need it to be about 10 inches long. Just going to start that right there. Turn this. And 6 by 10 will give you enough space for what we're doing. Okay, so now we need to put our fusible interfacing on the back, and oh, here it is. I lost it for a second. So we're going to need 2 pieces of that 6x10. So what I'm going to do is just fold this in half. It comes in a big sheet. I'm just going to fold it in half so I can cut 2 pieces at once. And again, I'm just going to, actually I'm going to use this for my template. I'm going to put it off of it a little bit so that my interfacing is a little bit smaller than my actual fabric. And I'm just going to cut that. And I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to see all the questions as I'm doing this, but I will answer questions at the end, and I'll catch some of them as I go if I can. Okay, so I have 2 pieces of my interfacing, and I have 2 pieces of fabric. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So I'm going to pull my Steady Betty over here, which is my ironing surface. And to apply this, you're going to, this is the pretty side of your fabric, and there's the back side of your fabric, okay? And then on your fusible interface, or whatever you're using, the heat and bond, they're all the same way. There is a textured side and a smooth side. You're going to put the texture side against the back side of your fabric. The texture side is actually the adhesive. So we're going to do that. Looking at the comments here. Okay, Jennifer's asking what kind of interfacing I'm using. This is, if you're using the Cricut Maker, I recommend using, excuse me, I recommend using the Heat and Bond Fusible Interfacing Iron-On. This is the medium weight. You can also use, if you like something thicker, you can use the Heat and Bond Fusible Fleece. But this does make a difference in how the project turns out. This will be much fluffier. So I'm just going to go through this one more time. This one was the Fusible Interfacing. You see how it's much thicker. And this one is the this was a fusible fleece. This one was the interfacing like we're using, the Heat and Bond interfacing. I prefer the Heat and Bond interfacing for this project. Okay, so we have our interfacing rough side facing the back side of the fabric, okay? This is where your easy press comes in really handy because you can do this. But if you don't have an easy press, just use your iron on like a cotton setting. If you're using the fusible fleece, I think you have to knock that up to wool, but you'll just want to read the directions on the back. I'm still learning, Jennifer, too, so don't feel bad. I highly recommend the Heat and Bond line of products, though. They've got just about everything you can need or think of. Thanks, Terry. So if you guys haven't gotten an easy press, this is a great addition to your craft room because not only do I do all my iron-on with it, but as you can see, since it's here, sorry, I have this really dry cough. Okay, so we have our fusible fleece on there, and you can tell it's stuck. I could probably start to peel it off if I wanted to, but that's perfectly fine, okay? We're going to put my board aside. Now we're going to load this on our mat, and I am going to load this on my mat pretty side down, and I'm going to use this corner because the fleece is right up to the edges. That looks great. Now, you're going to go over to Design Space, and if you've clicked on my pattern, and I'm going to try to show you this, my light's going to be in the way. Let's see if I can extend it over here. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera, and I'm not sure how this is going to work. So here's my computer. So we're in Design Space, and here is the pattern. So we're going to open it. And you're going to see that I have set up here You have a big circle with 2 half circles in the orange, and if you look at the color coding here that I have for you, that's the outer fabric with stabilizer. That's what we just did. And that's what I'm going to put on the outside is my navy fabric with the arrows. The lining is in the green, so all the green product will be in our lining. And then this tab you can do in any fabric you want. You could do it in the lining fabric, the outer fabric. If you want to do a splash of color and a totally different color, you can. And so that's why I made that blue. You can totally put it wherever you want. The first thing you want to do in this pattern is turn it off because you don't want to cut this. This is just for your reference so that you knew what those colors were referencing. So we're just going to go up here in the layers panel and hit the eye and turn it off. Or if you forget to do that, I'll leave it on. We can hit make it. And here it is. It's a print and cut because I flattened it. So just skip that and go to the next screen. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see this. Somebody said, keep it up, Lori, and you won't be able to say you're not a sewer anymore. I'm very nervous about doing this sewing tutorial, but I'm going to try to zoom in here so you can see what I'm doing. When Cricut Design Space sets this up, it kind of sets it up like this, which is going to waste more material, so I'm going to set it like this. So I have the big circle on the 2 half circles, and you can see that's going to fit in my 6x10 area. So I'm going to hit continue. We're going to select our Cricut device. I'm going to use the Maker. If you're using the Explorer, you can use the Explorer. You're going to use the knife blade, but as long as you have the heat and bond on the back of it, you'll be able to do this. However, Explore users, I will say, if you're going to put the heat and bond on this, you're going to load your mat with the heat and bond side down instead of pretty side down. So there's a little note for you. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. So if you're an Explore user and you're doing this with me, put the heat and bond side down, your pretty side up on your mat. Cricut Makers, you're going to put the pretty side down with the interfacing side up. Okay, so we are going to cut a fabric and it's cotton. So we're just going to click on cotton. And I moved my Maker over here, so you guys are like totally getting the lowdown of my messy craft room today. And believe me, I tried to do this video like 3 times, and that's why I decided to do it live, because I just kept having interruptions. So here we go. Make sure I don't have anything behind me. I'm going to load it. And I hope you guys can see everything well. I guess I could turn this. This direction, is that better? Let's do that. Okay, so we're going to hit the C, and if you're cutting it on the Maker, you are going to use your rotary blade. So that's cutting out. Let me check out the messages while that's cutting out. Hi, Ravi, or Ravi. Are the files exclusive to Cricut machines? This file was made with just basic shapes, so yes, you have to use a Cricut machine with it, but if you don't have a Cricut machine, you can just cut out 4-inch circles and cut 2 of them in half. Also, Cricut Explore users, if you want to use the interfacing instead of heat and bond, you can cut this whole pattern out in paper and then use that as a pattern and then cut it out by hand with scissors. So we've cut out that fabric, and voila. Whoops, pulled off one of my circles. So there's 2 of our circles. We have the 2 half circles and the full circle in our outer fabric. Now we're going to cut, the Maker's telling us that we're going to cut our lining. We're going to again put it pretty side down. I'm going to go with this corner. Explore users, you're going to put it, if you're using the heat and bond, you're going to put it pretty side up, heat and bond side down. If you're cutting it with paper, it doesn't matter. right. Thanks, Terry. Anybody else want to be a moderator? I know Terry is going to have to leave, and we might need people to be able to delete messages for me. So if you want to be a moderator, let me know and I will make you a moderator. Yes, I'm using the rotary tool with the Cricut Maker. I love, love, love it. Reading your messages here. Anybody else want to be a moderator in case Terry has to leave?
What do you want to say?
Oh. Well, my Siri's talking to us. Alright, so we're going to delete this, or eject this one. And, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I messed up live. I forgot to move that circle. So I'm going to have to recut that bottom circle. Which isn't a problem. We'll just recut it. So we got that, and I wonder if I have enough to recut it. Maybe. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. I might have to recut a piece of the red. I think I can get it on here. I'm going to try to cut the red half circle. Get some scissors here. Out of this scrap right here. So see, I make plenty of mistakes, but it doesn't bother me because it's just fabric. No big deal. We'll be fine. Just gonna put that in there, and I'm gonna recut a half circle. So I'm going over to Design Space, and I gotta go back to this screen. I'm gonna edit it, and I'm gonna move. I just need one half circle, so let me just change this. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing. So here I am in Design Space, and this is the mat I just messed up. I forgot to move my image like I did in the other one. So I'm just going to hit cancel. And yes, I want to cancel. And so what I'm going to do is just delete everything but one half circle, because that's all I need in that blue box. So get rid of that. I need this, and I need that, and I don't need that. So no big deal. Don't sweat it if you make a mistake. All right, we're going to hit continue. Choose the maker again. And here we go. We're back over here. Hopefully it's going to fit on my little scrap. Looks like it will, but we'll see. I choose cotton again. And we're going to cut. So you need 2 pieces of fabric cut. You need a round circle and 2 half circles cut in your lining, and a round circle and 2 half circles cut in your outer fabric. And I think I'm going to do the zipper. Are we good? Let's see. Yay, it worked. All right, so we got our other half. And now I'm back to the square, which I'm going to use this little piece of scrap and cut my square out. So my lining's going to be the red, and the outer is going to be the blue arrows. Why does it pull the mat all the way through? The Cricut Maker has a added feature in it, and that's part of the aligning for the rotary blade and because it's so precise. It's an additional feature where it helps register the machine so that everything is even more on point than it's ever been before. Hi, Sophie, too. Oh my gosh, are you a sewer? People who sew, I totally apologize because you're going to probably gasp at my techniques, but I say do what works for you, and I'm probably going to use the wrong terminology, but I'm showing you how I do it, so it works for me. All right, so we're done cutting with the maker. All right, everybody still with me? I'm gonna flip over here so I can see back on screen what we're doing. And make sure you guys can see well. Let me flip my lights back around so you don't have to see the screen. Can get you some better lighting. All right, does that look good? Okay, so here's what we got. This is the situation. This is where it's gonna get fun. And you're going to start sewing. We have a zipper. Don't be afraid of zippers. This is an 18-inch zipper. It just happens to be the only red one that I have on hand. So I'm just going to use it. You don't need a zipper this big. If you have a 4-inch zipper, that'll work. Anything in between, that'll work. But actually the large ones make it easy, although it doesn't need to be nearly this large. But this is what we have, so this is what we're using. So the first thing you're going to do, this is my outer fabric, this is my lining. You're going to take one of your half circles of your outer fabric, interfacing side down, pretty side up. You're going to take your zipper, you're going to put it face down, and it doesn't matter that the pole is over here. That actually makes it a little bit easier. So your zipper's face down, your bottom piece is face up. Then you're going to take one of your lining pieces, and you're going to put that face down. Okay? So now you're going to line all those up, make a little sandwich, and I like to use these little clips. If you don't have clips, use pens. And I like to pin it from the bottom so that I can sew up here without moving it, since this is so little. But do whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Make sure your ends are lined up. Again, I'm going to pin mine right here. Okay, I got a little bit of a buckle there. Pin it right there. And again, my zipper pull is clear down here. It doesn't matter at this point. So that looks good. I might put one right here in the middle just to keep that from the middle of the zipper from sagging out of my sandwich. So just make sure everything's nice and lined up. It'll pay off in the end. Alright, I'm just going to use white thread, but if you want to use a coordinating thread, go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my machine, and I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but I'll get my glasses on, move this over. I'm going to try to put this down where you can see what I'm doing on the machine. Let's see if I can move this appropriately. There. Okay, so you need a zipper foot. If you don't have a zipper foot, you can do it with that one, but it's much easier with a zipper foot. So I'm going to change my foot. Zipper foot has just one leg on it, and I'm going to put it so it's on the left side, and it just snaps into place. It's not a big deal to change it. All right. Now what I like to do is turn it over so that the zipper is face up. You can see the ridge of the zipper. Get my strings back out of my way. And I like to line the presser foot up so that the edge of the foot right here is right along the edge of the zipper. Now I can change my needle position over, and that's what I like to do. Put it clear over to the right. My zipper's on the left. I can take my clip out now. And see if I can reach my pedal if I move my machine. Alright. Now mind you guys, if you sew and you're watching me, don't flip out, because I'm just doing what works for me. I'm totally self-taught. No idea what I'm doing, or the right way, but YouTube is your friend. So, here we go. You're going to take a few stitches and then you're going to back stitch. That just locks it in. And then go ahead and go right down, keeping that edge of the presser foot right along the edge of the zipper. Go slow, it's not a race. No reason to rush through it. And move your clips as you go. And when you get to the end, you're going to do the same thing. Backspace or back stitch. Go forward right at the end. Okay, so we've done that part. I'm going to cut that off. Move this back so you can see where we're at. I'm going to cut my threads. Okay, so we have our zipper. This is the top. This is the bottom. And we need to fold them over. So you got one sewn on the top, one sewn on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is go over to my press real quick and just press this right here so that that is nice and flat. So I'm just turning around here, and I'm just using the easy press. It's still heated up over here. I'm just going to give it a quick press. If you have an iron, that's great. Might be a little bit better for this application. So there, we have our zipper and our lining hooked like that, okay? This is the trickiest part about the zipper, is figuring out the sandwich. So here we go. I'm going to put you back up here. And I apologize for the cord. I had to plug my phone in. So hopefully I can get that out of your way. Okay, so here we are. This is our zipper sandwich that we made. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take our outside fabric and put it pretty side up. Let me get up. Can you see? Alright, you guys are a little bit of a delay behind me, so I want to make sure you can see. And then we're going to take our zipper our zipper side down, so the zipper pull is facing down. You should be able to see your lining side. And then you're going to take your lining piece and put it pretty side down. Okay? So now you want to line these up. And you're going to find, just by the nature of the fact that this one is sewn down here, that it's not going to line up edge to edge, because this part's wider than that part, obviously. So make sure it's kind of centered. And then make sure the one in the back edges are centered with that. So again, you're just making your sandwich. We're going to use our clips. Clip it into place. I'll put one in the middle. Make sure your zipper's up so that you catch it. And I'm going to put one over here. And hold that into place. So here we go. We're going to go back to our machine and we're going to sew that again. So way back down, and I'm sorry to keep moving the camera, but I'm trying to give you all the things I would want to see if I was learning. Oops, just unplugged it. There we go. So we still got our zipper foot in. Like I said, I like to work with the zipper side up so that I can put that presser foot right against that edge. Hopefully you can see this. I don't know, does it help if I put the light down there? Or does that make it worse? Maybe on this side. Alright. I don't know if I'm making it worse or better for you. Okay, so I'm going to start just before my fabric, keeping that the zipper foot right next to the edge of my fabric, and then I'm going to back stitch. And then I'm going to go nice and slow right down the edge of that zipper. And you guys, don't be intimidated by this. I don't sew. A month ago, I didn't sew. So. And then you're going to back stitch at the end. Okay? Hardest part's over. You just installed a zipper. How cool are you? Take your clips off. Alright, put this back up. I'm sorry if you're getting out of focus. Are we good? Okay, so now we have our little sandwich. We're going to open it up Put this side over, and we're going to press this side. So I'm just turning around and pressing this side. When you press it, make sure you pull your lining out so that everything is laying nice and flat. Okay. So I just pressed that. Trim any threads. All right, we're looking good. So we have our zipper. Now what we're going to do is put our top stitching right down the top. So to do that, I'm going to put you back over here at the sewing machine. I apologize for the screeching. It's my tripod here. All right, so we're done with the zipper foot. We can get rid of the zipper foot and put the other one back on. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're just going to put our regular presser foot back on. Like I said, if you don't have a zipper foot, you can do a zipper with this one. Just you have to be careful. All right. So, let me get my thread unstuck there. All right. Again, people who are here that might really sew, don't judge. Okay, so you want to make sure your fabric is pulled nice and taut. You don't have, a bubble over here. You want to make sure it's nice and taut. That's why we ironed it. And we're going to go right along the fabric and the zipper. And now I'm lining the edge of the fabric up with this edge of the presser foot. And then I'm going to put my needle over, in my case. Now when I'm doing a top stitch, I like to make it a little bit wider. So I'm going to make my stitch length like a 3.5. I was working on 2.5. And we're just going to sew nice and slow, straight, keeping the fabric lined up with the edge of the presser foot. Again, no need to rush. Back up. All right. We're done with that. We're going to do the same thing. Did my needle come unthreaded? Oh, it's there. I just didn't see it because of the white arrows. I'm like, where's my thread? Okay, so now we're going to turn it over and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure those fabrics are nice and taut. I'm going to line that up right with the edge of my fabric. And go nice and slow. There we go. And we're done with that part. All right. Now it's getting fun. It's starting to look like something. Cut our threads. Okay. Now push it back up. Screech. Sorry. All right. So this is what we got. Hopefully your zipper's not as long as mine because it's quite the waste, but it is what it is. Now, very important, well, actually we're going to do this first. We're going to take our little square, we're going to fold it in half with our fingers and crease it. What is the name of these clips? I forget what they're called, but I will link them after the video. I think they're called Wonder Clips, but that might be a brand. Okay. Just reading your comments. Okay, so you're going to fold this piece of fabric in half, put a little crease with your fingers, and then you're going to fold each side in to the center, like so. And then you want to press that. So let me turn around and press that rather than reload my pressing pad and everything over here. I'm just going to turn around and press it behind me. Okay, so I just pressed it just like that. And now I'm going to fold it in half again, just like that. And press it. And this is just going to be our little tab. And again, you can do this in the, I like to do it in the lining color, but if you want to put a pop of a different color in there, totally could do that. On this one, I did like a pink, it matched my zipper. This one I did the black and white. So whatever you want to do. That's why I put it in a different color in the design space file. Okay, so what you're going to do on this, you're going to grab this piece and you're going to unzip the zipper halfway. Very important. Don't forget that step. Okay? Now on the side that's still zipped, you're going to, actually, forgot one thing. We're going to stitch right down this open edge. I'm going to stitch right down that side. So I'm not going to move the camera. I'll just do that stitch real quick. Alright. So I stitched down that edge. Now I'm going to stitch, Wrigley, sorry. Now I'm going to stitch down this side. Okay. And that just gives you a little bit of a finished edge. This is totally not straight, but it's not even going to matter because by the time I fold it, you're really not going to be able to tell. Okay, so I stitched down both sides. I'm going to fold it in half, okay? So your open sides are here, your folded side is here. You want to take the folded side and put your zipper like this, the side that's still zipped, you're going to put the folded side towards the zipper. So if I turn this over, it's like this. Alright, so your open side is going to be facing the outside of the circle, the closed folded side is facing the inside, okay? Now you want to either pin that or use one of your clips, whatever works for you. I'm a clip girl. Makes it easy. They have these clips at Joann's and I got mine on Amazon, but I will tell you Amazon's much cheaper. Okay, so now it's time to start building our sandwich. If you want to do 2 of these loops, you totally can put another one down here. And also, let me show you one other thing while I'm thinking about it. These are kind of fun to put on them because then you can hang them on a backpack or your purse. So if you want to put one of those on there, just loop it through. And these are lobster claws or clasp. Lobster clasp, I guess they're called. Okay, so you're going to loop that through and then put your open ends again towards the zipper and just let that hang in the middle and clip it down. And your ends can hang over your circle a little bit. That way you know you caught them when you sew through there. Okay, now we're getting to the trickiest part of this whole thing, and believe it or not, we're getting really close to being done. Oh, here, just looking for my clips. One other thing you want to do on your open end of the zipper, again, your zipper's halfway undone, that's important. I just cross it a little bit, not a lot, just a little, and put a clip there. And that will just keep my zipper together when I'm sewing. Okay, now, this is the most complicated part of the entire thing. And I always have to think it through. So, we are going to take our outer fabric and place it upside down, so pretty side down. Notice that if you're using a directional fabric like I am, this has arrows, so I don't want the back going this way and that going that way, so you want to pay attention to that. So, my arrows are going pretty side down. They're going in the same direction as my sandwich. And then wait a minute. I'm already telling you wrong. Okay, sorry, scratch that. You're going to take your lining piece first. And you're going to put that upside down. Okay? Now you're going to take your directional your outer piece, and put that right side up. Make sure it's going the same direction as your fabric. And you're going to line everything up like this. Okay, so you want me to show you one more time? You're going to take your lining piece face down, your outer piece face up. Make sure those are lined up. Then you're going to put your zipper sandwich pretty side down, so the zipper's facing down on top. And your zipper is halfway open. And now you're going to pin this all together, keeping them as lined up as you can. And if you don't have these clips, again, you can just use regular pins. No big deal. Okay, so this is what we got. We turn it over. We have red. The red side's on the outside. The red side's on the other side, the opposite side. So just make sure everything's lined up. Now I like to start sewing. I don't like to start sewing right at the zipper. I like to kind of start over here somewhere. So here we go. I'm going to move you back down to the sewing machine. And we're going to start sewing this. I'm going to put my machine back on like a 2.5. My needle's up. Don't judge me, sewers out there. Find a spot that makes you comfortable. I get nervous if I'm right on the edge, and I get nervous if I'm taking up too much space. But I kind of like to put the presser foot right on the edge of the fabric. For me, it makes it easier, especially when you're sewing a circle. So we're just going to start sewing. And again, you want to go slow because you're sewing in a circle. Take a few stitches and then back stitch to lock it in. And now we're going to go around the circle, removing our clips as we go. Where's my clip bowl? And we're just going to keep sewing, go slow. There isn't a prize for being the first one done. Okay, now when we get to the zipper, we're going to go through the zipper, right over it. And then you're going to back stitch and go over it, and back stitch and go over it. And that's just going to make sure that zipper stays closed. And then we're going to finish going around our circle. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And I'm sorry I can't read the comments, guys. I'll read it. We'll do questions at the end if you have any. Keep going. I'm kind of getting off course here. And we're going past the zipper again. I'm going to back stitch. Past the zipper again. Back stitch. Past the zipper again. Can take that clip off. And we're going to keep going and meet up with our other seam right there. Back stitch, lock it in, and we're done. Okay? Now we're getting really close to being done. Trim your threads. All right, let me put you up one more time. If I can get this to stay up. All right, so here we are. So, see, this isn't perfect, but it's fine. Now, what I like to do is go around these edges and just trim off some of that extra stuff. Don't use your good scissors to cut through your zipper. I'm just skipping that. And just trimming off close to my seam, but not... Don't obviously go through your seam. Okay, nobody's going to see it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be on the inside. Now take another pair of scissors and you're just going to trim off that zipper. And it'll cut right through it. And you're going to do it on both ends. And then you can trim it up a little closer if you want. Perfect. All right, are you guys ready? We are almost done. Okay, your zipper's open. All you gotta do is reach in there and start turning it right side out. Pull that inside out. And use your finger and go along that seam and on the inside and pull it out, stretch it out so that nothing's tucked in. And look what we made. We just made an earbud pouch. How cool is that? So we have our red lining on the inside. We have our little zipper pull with a little hangy clasp. So that's it. And now I can go read your comments. So, I don't know how long that took us, but I swear to you I've been trying to film this all day long and I decided it would just be easier to do it live. So I'm going to read comments now. Yes, super easy. Glad you like it. Thanks, Terry. Don't forget, you guys, you can, you know, I don't know why my Siri...
I don't understand. Don't forget you got...
Siri doesn't understand, so apparently Siri's confused. Don't forget, you can use your faux leather and make these. Super cute and real durable. It's not going to get dirty in your purse. That one's with fabric. This one's with the fusible fleece. These were with the fabric interfacing. I think these are going to be stocking stuffers for everybody in my family. Sheila, yes, she's going to make some stocking stuffers. Peggy likes live better. Good, I'm glad. I go back and forth. I definitely like filming them live. It's a lot faster. Is the pattern going to be on the Cricut website? No, but I shared the pattern. If you need me to share it again, I can. If I can find my mouse. Here it is. Let me go over here to Design Space, get the copy. Go over here to the chat and paste. Here is the pattern for you. I just put it in the chat. Yes, the faux leather. These are great. I like the faux leather because I don't have to worry about it getting dirty in my purse or if it's hanging on a book bag. Kathleen and Lori, each of my boys would love to have one of these earbuds for their Game Boys, tablets, and computers. Great project idea. Love it. Good. Good. Anybody have any other questions? Do you guys like watching all of this from start to finish, or would you rather everything be preset and ready? Did you like watching it cut and seeing the Design Space part, or do you feel like you got that down? Do I have an Etsy where I don't sell? Sorry about that. Yeah, these are a really simple starter project if you want to get into sewing. I'm still in the starter projects. You guys like watching the start to finish? Good. Did the moving of the camera bother you? I didn't know how that was going to go. Moving it from the machine to the screen to the Cricut Maker. It's the first time I've done it that way. Jennifer's going to be getting the Cricut Maker. All right, my next project I want to share how to make is, let me grab it. I'm going to share how to make the box bags. This is a little bit more complicated, but still totally doable. And I made the design in Design Space again. I need a helper with the camera. Yes, I do, but unfortunately, I don't have one. Well, thank you, Mary. That makes me feel better. That's why I was very nervous about people who really sew watching my video, because I'm sure I don't do things right, but or call them the right things. All right, can't wait to see this one. I don't mind the camera moving. This would make a cute change purse. Yeah, this would be great for change or all kinds of little things. You could also do the iron-on vinyl on the inside. My thought with this one was I was going to use it, and I still might, in my Easy Press group. Terry and I have an Easy Press group. If you guys aren't in it, you should jump over there. But I think I might initial this with the Easy Press. Doing great. You're making zipper installation a breeze. One of my least favorite things to do. You know, one of the first projects I did had a zipper in it, and I guess I was just naive enough that I didn't know I'm not supposed to start there. But you know what, you guys, don't be afraid to try. Do you ever cup your hand? All right. Did you put a lining on the leather? Yes, I did. It has the same. I used the same technique. I just didn't put any. Yes, they were deleted. I didn't put any interfacing or fabric fuse or anything on this one because the leather's stiff enough that it held it. Jennifer, I'll make you a moderator. Thank you. Any other questions? What do you like? Oh, line the faux leather with. Okay, we answered that one. Any other questions? I'm sorry I missed some of them during the feed. I'm trying to go back and read some of them. Peggy says she would have used a zigzag stitch at the end. You mean around the outside when I did the end? You can find the pattern, Jean. Here, I'll put it in the chat again. All you have to do is copy and paste that and save it somewhere, and it'll take you right to the pattern. I just linked it. Right there's the pattern. The Explorer will cut the faux leather. The Explorer can cut fabric with the fabric blade, or if you don't have the fabric blade housing, you can just use a brand new blade and just keep that just for fabric. That will work the same, but you'll have to use heat and bond on it and put the heat and bond side down. Where did I buy the metal pieces? These are lobster clasp. You can buy them on Amazon. If you look them up on Amazon, you can buy them on Etsy. You can buy them in Joann's, Michael's, any place that has like jewelry making. And I can't remember where I got these in particular, but could have been any one of those places. And you don't need, I mean, you could buy a package of 5 and make 5 earbuds. And the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is when you're buying your fabric, almost all of the projects I've been posting I've been doing with fat quarters. So if you just go to Joann's or even Walmart has fat quarters, they're like 97 cents most of the time, or Joann's will have them like 4 for $5 or something like that. And it's more than enough fabric. It's 18 by 21 or 22, I think. What size clasp? I don't know how they measure clasp. I just happen to have these on hand from when I was making tassels. But from top to bottom, mine are 1 inch. So if that's how they measure it, it's a 1 inch clasp. Kathleen can't wait till October 3rd on HSN, so she must be buying the Maker on HSN. All right, if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to let you guys go. It has been a crazy day here, and I've got lots of things to still get put away and cleaned up. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun doing it live, and it's way less pressure than doing the edited video. You guys are all very, very welcome. Thank you for the kind comments. Thanks, Jennifer, for moderating. And I will see you guys later. Have a good evening. And here, I'm going to post the link to the pattern one more time, just in case anybody wants to grab it before I sign off. You might want to copy and paste it. And then once you open it in Design Space, you can save it. So if you just click on it now, open it in Design Space and save it, then you'll have it for whenever you're ready. I'll give you a couple seconds here to get the pattern if you need it. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Joan. Guadalupe, everybody, thank you for being here. It is opening in the matte view. That's fine, just go back, hit canvas, and go back to, you can see it on the canvas. It's probably where I saved it. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Thanks.